What's up guys, it's Roger, and today we're playing some more Trials of Osiris on the Blink Hunter, and we have a good buff coming in here to our Knucklehead radar. So if you didn't know, Knucklehead radar used to do some pretty good things for you. It would give you a very in-tuned radar when you would crouch, which would let you pick apart where your enemies are and go ahead and aggress on them and use that information to your advantage to know how you wanted to play around them on the map. Now, more so than that, it also lets you keep your radar up while you are aiming down sights, which obviously is a very good thing to have. And I believe it also gave you a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness before this kind of buff that it just got, but maybe that was part of the previous exotic called Foe Tracer. You see, Foe Tracer was an exotic helmet that used to have this perk right here. It would visually mark targets, and then you would deal more damage to the low health marked targets. You see, the low health marked target thing doing more damage, that doesn't really matter in PvP because by the time you're hitting the last bullet where it would actually do more damage, they're just going to die anyways, so that doesn't ever actually really help, but you know, in PvE it's actually something. Now, the really good part is visually marking targets. What that does is essentially gives you free wall hacks, pretty simple stuff. It's going to put a little X over your enemies after you aim on them for about 1 second, and then no matter what wall they go behind, you can just still see that X. So as soon as they're coming back around a corner, you can see that they're going to peek, and you can just put a bullet straight into their head before they can even react, and the entire point of Peeker's advantage just goes away for the enemy. So overall, I really do like that they shoved these two exotics together, and we'll talk about it a little more when we get to the gameplay. Now over here we have the rest of the mods and whatnot. I'm going to have on a solar and kinetic gun, so you can see here that I have solar targeting, kinetic targeting, solar unflinching, and kinetic unflinching. I like to make orbs of power when it comes to my builds for PvP, so I have a firepower mod, a heavy-handed mod, and a reaper mod. You can go ahead and pause if you want to read any of these more in depth. Now, when I pick up those orbs of power, I'm going to get 3 ways to use them: Innervation, Orbs of Restoration, and Absolution. These 3 mods are going to just give me ability energy back when I pick up an Orb of Power. The last mod that I want to point out here is 2 Bomber mods. These are going to give us around 20 to 25% of our grenade energy back every time we use our dodge, which is pretty often. For our primary engagements, we are going to be using the Sunshot Hand Cannon. For the longer ranges, you know, we want to fight with this, especially because it has explosive payload on it, so we don't have to have damage fall off with those bullets. Very nice stuff right there. Now, this does have this ornament right now, and this is actually in the Eververse store for Bright Dust. So make sure if you don't have a good ornament for Sunshot, like I did not, then go ahead, go to the Eververse store right now, and make sure before the week is over, you go ahead and you pick this baby up because it feels real nice, and you'll see it in the gameplay today in case you want to see how it looks. The reticle's like the exact same, but you know, it just looks nice and I like it. I am going to be running double primary because I wanted to use an SMG on this map. I tried a more shotgun-centric build on my Blink Warlock, so I wanted to try an SMG-type build with a hand cannon on my Hunter, and I did not regret it. I was tearing people's bussies up with this build, let me tell you. The multi-mock feeling pretty darn good. Some of the hit reg on the bullets was a little funky, but besides that, it felt good to smack people quite a bit with this thing today. Coming into our Arc 3.0 with some pretty simple stuff. We have on a Gathering Storm Super because it takes too long to get roaming supers like the Arc Staff in the current meta. Over here we have on Marksman Dodge, so we can dodge and instantly reload our bullets. Very nice when we have double primary on. Over here we have on Blink, of course. You know, if you want to be a little hobby grasshopper boy, that's fine, but me personally, I'm a Blink master and this is what I like to use. Now over here we have on Combination Blow, so when we do kill somebody with this punch up, we're going to get healed, and on top of that we refill our entire class ability energy. Very good stuff right there. And then we have on Pulse Grenades. I think people sleep on Pulse Grenades a little bit, and you'll see in the gameplay I don't have too many times with this thing that it went absolutely crazy because I was mostly focusing on my gunplay, but these are very good, especially with one of the fragments that I have on, at cutting off lanes and entrances into the parts of the map that you can just make a lot of area for yourself and then take care of the enemies while that area is cut off. Now over here we do have Flow State, so if we do get amplified, we get a bunch of extra benefits to it, including our dodge being way quicker to recharge, we get more resilience in that dodge, and our reload speed is uber fast. Now finishing that off, we do have Tempest Strike. Tempest Strike is going to let us slide and then use our melee, and that's going to cast a long traveling arc energy blast. This is going to do some good damage to enemies, it's going to jolt them. Overall, an amazing ability right here. I love it quite a bit. And with a lot of the hallways on Meltdown this weekend, this is a really good aspect. Now, over here in our fragments, we have some good stuff. You can see I have Spark of Haste. That's going to give us plus 30 to our resilience, recovery, and most importantly, mobility while we're sprinting for a couple of seconds. You can see I have 50 mobility. When I have my SMG out, which I do all the time when I'm running around, that's going to boost up to 70. And then when I run for about 2 seconds, this is going to kick on my Spark of Haste, and that's going to give us an extra plus 30, so I do have 100 mobility most of the time. Over here, we have Spark of Magnitude. This is going to let our Pulse Grenades have extended duration, and this is the thing that I was saying goes hand in hand with our pulse grenades. Definitely recommend you use that if you use a pulse. Down here we have Spark of Recharge, so when we critically wound, we will get melee and grenade energy regenerating very, very quickly. And finishing that off, we do have Spark of Instinct, which is quite a fun one if you're going in balls to the wall. If you don't want to run this, if you have some special ammo stuff in your build, you can go Spark of Momentum. If you have on a arc type weapon, you can use Spark of Discharge. There's a lot of good stuff in here. You can use Spark of Ions if you are jolting targets more so than I'm going to be. It really just depends how you want to play. This is a very interchangeable fragment right here. In case you are interested in the drip, here you go. Got this on. Most of it is just the new Trials of Osiris armor on the legs, on the cloak, and on the arms because I think it looks so good. And on top of that, I do have on the Light for the Lost emblem, so it gives me this white glow. You can see with this emblem, we'd have like the red glow, or with just nothing on, we would have the yellow glow. But I really like this one because the white glow just works so well. Overall, if you guys do have any questions about this build, please go ahead, feel free to leave those in the comment section or join the Blink Build Discord server. You can join that in the top right or in the description. Now, if you really want to support the channel, you can go ahead and join my channel membership. That is going to be done by clicking the join button below this video if you want to see all the perks that come with that. And if you want to leave me a like or subscribe at any point in this video, I'd very much appreciate that. We're on the way to 7K subs, and I'd love to hit it by maybe the end of the month if we go crazy with it, but most likely by the halfway point of next month would be the point that I would expect to hit that by. Now, after that, if you just want to leave me a nice little view on this video and gives me as much watch duration as you can, that is just tremendous for me, and I'd really, really appreciate that. But overall, I think we're ready to get into this gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into it. Alright, I'll be honest, I just sneezed right before I started recording, so legally you have to say bless you in the comments, or you are a bad person and you probably smell. Now, going to this gameplay, I had a decent time. Mostly on my Warlock, I had a decent time today. This was filmed on Friday. Shout out to Cranky Pankies in my party right here. You can see, helped me clap up some of these matches, and we were on crossplay because he was on console, and woo-wee, he was getting some crazy lag, but hey, my boy still helped me out quite a bit. You can see he claps up both those kills right there for us as we hit some very good team shots, going blink on top of the last guy, hit him with a double punch to round that kill out for the round, and it felt pretty good. Most of the time I was just taking the long range engagements with my Sunshot. It does very good with the ranges on this map, whether the flag is going to be inside or out, it does its job very well. And then when you want to go a little closer, you can just pull out that SMG and go crazy on them with it. So I like that quite a bit. There has been less Immortal now since, you know, the new season started, which probably won't last long because Immortal hasn't been nerfed still. You know, no more than when the target lock nerf came through, and that really didn't hit Immortal that much at all. I don't need to harp on that too much right now, it's not the point of this video in the slightest. But just so you know, the meta hasn't really changed that much, but that's okay, you can still have some fun, and I like this map a lot actually. You can see a good nade here is going to pick us up a grenade kill, which spawns 1 orb of power. We take out the second guy, and since we used our dodge earlier, we get 2 orbs of power in this one round. After I pick up that second orb of power, we basically have all our abilities back up for the next round, and that's something we love to see. Be careful on these power rounds. I really hate where power spawns on this map. You see the spawn that we just got? The power ammo favors the spawn that we spawned in on this round so much more than the other side. So if you spawn on this side like we did, awesome. But if you get unlucky and you spawn on the other side, well, you might as well bake a cake that looks like your enemy's butthole and start munching because you don't have much of a chance. I don't really like when they do heavy ammo spawns like that, and I really wish they would fix that one up a little bit. I know it's the first time we've had this on Trials for at least a long time, maybe ever. I've never played Trials on this map, so maybe they just wanted to try something weird with it, but I wish it wasn't there. Now, I think now that we've talked about this map and the actual gameplay going on a little bit, you can see like right there, we can start talking about Knucklehead radar, which is weird to say because, you know, seeing that effect on people and hitting them with these wall hacks is just such a faux tracer thing. Oh, this round I put it in 200% speed because it was like, I should add the Benny Hill music to this, you know, just because both my teammates were just like scuttling around trying to get this guy, and I was like, all right, come res Papa Roger, and I'll throw some abilities at this guy, shoot him a little bit, and then we can clap him up together. I started shooting a lot out of his clone, and then I was like, that's not the guy. Funny thing about Knucklehead radar, it will actually mark certain non-player objects as enemies, and it will put the wall hack on them. So just know that it does that sometimes. If it is a tangle, it will do it, I think. If it is the actual grapple point that people make when they go and they start grappling, it will target it. If it is a, what do you call it, that little threaded specter that guy had before, it'll do it on that. So a lot of the strand stuff for some reason just gets marked by Knucklehead. I don't really know why. it just counts it as an enemy, I suppose, and so I guess I do know why. But you think they would kind of make it to where it doesn't do that, so just know that that can kind of trick you sometimes, so be careful and be mindful of that. Now, I am very, very happy using our blink to get out of trouble here really well. I love to use blink in that manner. But I'm very, very happy with this changed Knucklehead radar. If you didn't know, Foe Tracer was one of my go-to blink exotics. I think it works really, really well with any kind of hunter. I mean, it's literally wall hacks, and I say that every time I would use Foe Tracer, and now I'm going to say it every time I use Knucklehead radar because, yeah, it just is literally wall hacks. You can't really get around that fact, and guess what? Believe it or not, wall hacks are good. You ever seen cheaters on this game? I mean, spoiler alert, you will. You see a lot of cheaters on this game, and that's because they, you know how good the cheats are. We all do. So when you can literally get free wall hacks, which there's a few different hunter exotics that can actually do that for you, it's pretty darn good. I think I used them to pretty good effect this round. You can see here how we have this guy marked. So now I can blink across this lane and start taking aim on him before I even fall to the ground. I know exactly where I want to aim because I already have that pre-aim on top of him. So it's stuff like that. Situations like this where it's so good. You can see right here, I had the aim on him, so I knew right where to aim. Was I came when he was, falling down, I was already looking at that X and I take him out. Same thing with this guy. He's marked off, and I can just hit him in the head before he can even get a peeker's advantage on me. Another thing you kind of saw there is when somebody is marked, it will go and put the marker on the left or right side of your screen in case you're not looking at where they are. So you know where they are with that as well. So the marker is really good. Now, of course we love the marker, but the base functionality of Knucklehead Radar is still around and doing quite well for us. And what I mean by that is the actual radar boost it gives you. It's something that I love quite a bit, and it's actually one of my favorite fragments in the entire game on Void, for example. It's called Echo of Dilation. Echo of Dilation on the Void subclasses is going to give you a much more in-tune radar when you crouch, the same way that Knucklehead Radar does. Unfortunately, it's only on our Void subclasses, but when you use something like Knucklehead Radar right here, then, well, you can go ahead and have that for free, and that's something I love a lot. The only thing with Knucklehead Radar is it always felt kind of lackluster. It felt like, why do I really want to use this over other exotics? Like, sure, having our radar up while we aim down sights is super useful. Having the in-tune radar is extremely useful as well, and the amount of information that can give you will make you a top-tier player when you know how to use it correctly. However, it always felt like it was missing that one extra little thing, but getting mixed with Foe Tracer, oh, by the way, Cranky, I told you almost killed me in that play right there. Did you see him? He freaking sumo slammed me into lane with the enemies almost. He took his fat cock, he wrapped it around mine, and he said, you're coming with me, partner. And I told him, I typed in chat after, I was like, you almost got me killed that round. You almost pushed me in front of the enemies. And he was like, that wasn't me, I swear. And I was like, okay, fucking bet. Bet, my brother. And I win the bet, so there you go. Now, as I was saying before, I love the actual implementation to put Foe Tracer on top of Knucklehead Radar. I think that they're a match made in heaven, and I think that they should have always been one exotic. I need to show you here. My aim was so bad sometimes with my SMG today, and this is a prime example, especially when I was amplified. I was like flying around, and I just like couldn't hit this guy to finish him off. But I thought it was so funny, and I wanted to show you guys. I killed him with my Spark of Instinct. That's what that symbol is in the bottom left, you can see. So don't worry, if you ever are trying to shoot your enemies and you realize that Harambe came back from the grave and started spanking your butthole, and your aim's a little off, then you can still do plays like that with some silly little stuff. And then you can hit a nice little two-piece with a Gathering Storm. I thought that was funny, so I had to show that to you guys, even though they were missing a teammate. It was funny. You deserve to see it. Now, I really do like, just to kind of finish off talking about the Knucklehead change here, I really like it. I'm a huge fan. I think whoever had this idea was just on top of things because it was a very smart thing to go ahead and mix these two together. This was something that I wish happened a long time ago, and this is going to be one of my go-to exotics now when I play my hunter because it's just so smart. Look at this. I knew exactly where this guy was, so as I came around the corner, I was already aiming on him. I can cut him off on a blink and then throw this a grenade right here and start spraying down. I had to drop down because I took some damage, but luckily my teammate was coming around the corner here and took one out. I used my blink to get up to my teammate's res and go ahead and res him really quickly as I take aim where I think they might be, and I see that my teammate actually died. So I fall around the corner here and I start aiming on this guy. You see this again? I have him marked behind the wall. So now that I know my other teammate is up on top of the balcony there, what I can do is let him push and just hold my aim on this guy through a wall, and then as soon as I see he's about to push up from behind that wall, I can just rail him. And there's nothing better than railing dudes. What? Sorry, who the? Alright, I don't know what happened there. My mic had a glitch is what happened. Actually, yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this exotic. Definitely going to be a go-to for me from now on. I suppose the flip side that you need to talk about when it comes to this change is the fact that Foe Tracer has a completely new passive now. And it's kind of funny because new Foe Tracer, by the way, I waited until he respawned his teammate there so I could farm him with damage, and then another good play with our wall hacks here because I can just see exactly where he is and aim on him as I come around the wall pre-aim. Beautiful stuff. Now, new Foe Tracer has an new perk, and it seems like it's mostly made for PvE, although it might have some usefulness in PvP. Essentially what it does is if you hit somebody with an ability and you have weapons that match your subclass type, then you're going to do extra damage to them with that weapon. I haven't tried it in PvP yet, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it in PvP yet, so I'm not actually sure how good it is, but it's something that's on my radar, and I think I might do a build with it next weekend. So if you are interested in seeing how good that is, then make sure you are subscribed so you can go ahead and see that when I put it out. I'm very interested to try it and see how much of a meaningful damage boost it gives. I have some ideas that I want to try, something like a, well, not a Jumbo's Vow, but a skip grenade build, mixed with some kind of a good arc weapon. I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. There's a few that I have in mind, but I would just pick probably a close range, maybe like an arc sidearm, which maybe like Brigand's Law I could use, or I think, is Blood Feud? No, Blood Feud is a stasis weapon, right? I forget, but I'll find a good arc weapon is my point, and then throw a skip grenade at somebody. That'll tag them up, and then I'll just go in a little aggressively with my arc weapon. Maybe even an Akelos SMG would be the perfect complement to that. In fact, I have one crafted that I never quite leveled up, so maybe that's something I should try out. If you guys want to see that build next weekend, please leave me a comment and tell me, because that's something that I really want to try out, and if you're interested in seeing how it might go, then let me know, because, you know, direct contact from you guys and letting me exactly know what you want to see is gonna make me much more invested in wanting to do it. So that's something I'm interested in. I don't know exactly how good that's gonna be, but I feel like it's probably really good in PvE, so I'll have to try it there as well. But overall, I think they did really well with the implementation of changing Knucklehead Radar and making a new perk for Foe Tracer at the same time, because think about it, we really just got an entirely new exotic, and I think that's really cool. If you are interested in Blink, and especially Blink Warlock, then you might be interested to know that yesterday I actually made a build video with the very new buffed Astrocyte Verse. So if you want to see that, I will have that linked on the end screen, and you can go ahead and watch that next. I also have an entire playlist on my channel called the Full Blink Journey playlist that you can go ahead and watch if you want to become a Blink master yourself. I think it'd be very helpful for you, you know, if you want to learn anything from what mobility to run, what weapons to run with your Blink, and a lot more stuff like Blink map guides, then you can go ahead and check out the rest of my channel, because I have all that stuff on there. I was also thinking about making a Blink map guide this weekend while Trials is still active for Meltdown. I haven't made a Blink map guide in a long time, but I was thinking maybe doing one for Meltdown if I could, and tomorrow, like if I have the time, and throw that together, because I feel like people might appreciate that. And they don't actually take me that long to make. I just haven't made one in a very long time because they didn't used to get views, but I haven't made them since I was like, you know, 2,000 subscribers smaller than I am right now, maybe even 3K smaller. So if that's something you guys are interested in, then let me know. Anytime I'm thinking of making a different video and I bring it up to you guys, I will always be endlessly appreciative if you go ahead and leave me a comment and you tell me, yeah, I am specifically interested in this video that you were talking about. Here's a perfect example of the wall hacks just knocked this guy's head off, and he's probably sitting there going, this guy's cheating, he just pre-fired me before I came around the corner. Yeah, guess what, bozo? I do have wall hacks, but they're Bungie certified, so I'm not going to get banned for them. Anyways, if I didn't, even if they weren't Bungie certified, I wouldn't get banned for them, because they don't ban people. But actually, that is a good thing to talk about. I don't think I've seen as many cheaters today, so maybe the ban wave with the start of the season helped. You guys let me know if you've seen cheaters today. I'm interested in that from your perspective as well. You can see here we blink up on top of this guy, and we're sliding around looking at our actual radar. I see this guy behind me, so I throw out the Tempest Strike here. That does pretty dang good damage, and remember, it jolts him. So now I'm amplified because I took out that jolted guy. We love to see that, sliding in, looking for the last guy. Didn't quite get the mark on him because I wasn't able to stare at him for long enough, but I can blink to the side of him, especially while I'm still amplified, and just rail him on the shield here. He walks behind, and Explosive Payload says, I don't think so, chubby boy, and takes him out real quick. Unfortunately, the magnets in my ball sack got stuck to the metal floor there, and that's why I bagged him a little bit. Definitely, that was the reason. That was the only reason. But hey, got a few more clips for you guys here. This round, is this the one? Yeah, I think it's either this one or the next one where I really show off the good grenade here. You can see me and my teammates were pushed back a little bit, and it wasn't the best scenario, so I was trying to get a different angle, so I come and start blasting this guy outside, but unfortunately there is a shield in the way. Now remember, shields are less health now, which is nice. Now I take out this first guy for my teammate, save his life, and then notice the last two are going to be capping very hard on that crutch, right? So I throw in the nade and start railing them down with my SMG here to take the last two out. Now, with that play, we are coming into the last 2 plays that I have for you guys, so I want to say one more time, thank you so much for watching. I'm endlessly appreciative of all of you, so I think I'm just going to let these last 2 plays play out for you guys. Again, if you leave me a like or subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that. But I'm going to let these plays play out for you, and as always, have a great day, Guardians.